All right, good job. Thanks.
Oh man. Well, yo, it's really good to see you. I wanted to start this
Likewise.
off as like a surprise, like, oh, it's Teddy, but this all
Yep, it's
happened. So
me. Yeah, well, it's still a surprise. I was saying it just creates anticipation, so it's all good.
it does, man. Well, yo, it's for all you watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys coming through. We're gonna be chilling tonight with Oh It's Teddy, the one, the only, the Boost God. Well, formerly the Boost God.
Formerly
Now he's
known as.
now he's just Oh It's Teddy. He's the man. If you guys want to check out his YouTube channel, it's linked in the description below. And if you guys are watching this after the fact, you can check it out on the APTHCRY YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description below too. But Teddy, dude, it's been a minute. It's really good to see you, and I just want to chill, hang out, and see what's up. Talk to you, figure out
Yeah, that's
what's
cool.
been going on.
I'm
Yeah,
chilling
man.
in I'm chilling in my mother-in-law's basement like a true reseller, dog. I've gone I've gone full circle and just chill in my mother-in-law's basement.
That's awesome. So, dude, tell me what's up. What have you been up to? I know that you've been keeping up with YouTube here and there, and you've been kind of doing your thing. And like, what's been going on with Teddy?
No, well, it's kind of not. It's not. Well, I got married. That's the positive, I guess. I got married, but my
Yo,
wife's.
congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
Appreciate it.
amazing.
It's about to get unhappy, but not the marriage, but the story.
Oh,
Um,
man. Okay.
my father-in-law was killed skiing
Oh my
last year.
goodness. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
hear
and
that.
then so me and my wife had to move in with my mother-in-law to take care of her, which is why I chill in her basement. So we moved here to take care of her. Uh, and now I just like because I'm here, I opened a tattoo shop because tattooed for 25 years, so
That's
wasn't
awesome.
really in the plans. It's just kind of happened this way. But now I just have a shop, and yeah, I update YouTube when I can. But we're so busy with this kind of gnarly part of life that most other shit doesn't really matter to us right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If we're being honest, we're just kind of focused on that. But it's also eye opening. It's like, you know, been a real sobering, kind of focusing situation to be in, to apply to your own life. So I'll take it for what it's worth. But, yeah,
Word.
nothing. Yeah, not to bring the mood down, but yeah, it's part of life, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
everybody out there who's doing anything will one day realize they have to make some sacrifices, and that's just where we're at in life. It's cool. That's what we're doing.
True.
How have you
True.
been? How have you been, Seth? You're the one we should talk about. You're the one that has ascended beyond the sneaker realm.
I
You
appreciate
know?
that, dude. I've
Yeah.
just been kind of fine, dude. Honestly, like business wise, the thing I'm most excited about, and life wise, I guess outside of like personal life wise, like we're dropping a collaboration together, a sock collaboration,
Yeah.
which I'm super excited about. I got a
That's
couple of them
dope.
right here. I guess we can get into
Okay.
that a little bit later in the stream. But dude, this is amazing. Like they came out super well.
Yeah, they're awesome. It was
Oh
like
man.
funny because when I was designing them, I'm like all worried. I'm always worried when I'm designing stuff how the final like I'm not over designing for what's possible for the machine, you basically. And then, dude, they look like super sick. So
Yeah, dude,
yeah,
they came out amazing. Seriously, they came out incredible, dude. Especially the dragon one. That's
yeah,
like
so
that's crazy. That's
yeah, they
so
look
dope.
dope. I'll have to do some extras, some new ones.
Definitely,
Hard
man. I'm
to.
down. I'm down. I had the medic one, but I literally couldn't find it. I was wearing it yesterday, and I only took one pair from the office because I'm stupid. I meant to
Yeah.
grab three. I usually grab three of each collection, and I completely forgot to grab the other two. So I was trying to have all four of them here, but I was wearing the medic one yesterday, and now it's in the wash, and now I don't have
Damn,
it.
you got the dream. When I started collecting sneakers, I had like an old tweet out there that was like, all I want is a new pair of socks every day, for a year. Like, and I remember thinking that would be such a stupid, outlandish purchase, being like, I can't buy 365 brand new pairs of socks. But like which is so silly considering what I spent on shoes, but you're like Willy Wonka of the socks. You can wear new socks every day.
And
That's
I
fucking
do.
sick. I
Well,
should have
that's not
started
true.
a goddamn sock company. I went the wrong way. I can wear a new T-shirt every day, but that shit gets old. You have like
Yeah, it makes
three
sense.
clo- three closets full of shirts. So
Dude, speaking of shirts, I like the shirt you're rocking right now. Is that an
you,
upcoming
no, it's
Teddy?
out right now. It's on
Oh,
the site
sick.
right now. Yeah, it's my own original design. Any likeness is purely your own imagination. And it's a
That's
piece of
awesome.
art for you to interpret. So yes,
That's
there's
awesome.
some left on the site, yeah, and then they'll be gone forever. And then there's another drop coming couple weeks or a week. Yeah.
That's dope. Well, yo, tell me about your design process. How do you come up with whether it's shirts, socks, or even tattoos? Like, where do you sort of go in your mind to come up with your concepts?
Well, it's gonna sound really dumb, but the tattoos are easy. The
Yeah,
tattoo
makes
part
sense.
is super easy, like concept wise, or so, I mean, sometimes other people are interjecting what they want, so there's
Mhm.
like guidance, and I only have to please one person. So tattooing is like, for the most part, pretty easy. And it's taken 25 years for it to get easy. It's not like it started out that way, but I'm
Right.
just like, it's just I've done it for so long, and I know it works. And with tattooing, there's only so many things that really work. You know, people try new stuff, but then over time you realize like the bold and traditional and the Japanese stuff is what works. Anyway,
Is there
but
anything you
sure,
won't tattoo? Is there anything?
yeah, there's plenty of stuff I don't tattoo. Yeah, at this point in the game, I don't tattoo anything that I don't really want to do. You know, I
Right.
mean, I have the luxury, I guess, of saying no because the pieces I say yes to pay the bills. But there's also there's plenty of stuff like there's just such a vast amount of people who want to get tattooed, but people who do different styles now.
Right.
That if I don't want to do it, it's going to cost you the same. You know, like if you're going to spend $1,500, you might as well go to the guy or girl that you want to do it, who does the style you want. And with the internet and all that, I think that's super important. You know, like people travel for shoes or travel to take their picture in front of the Eiffel Tower like everybody else, but they
Yeah.
won't travel to get a tattoo, and that is crazy. You know,
Yeah.
so. But shirt design is like literally going insane, and so are the socks. It's like I make myself go insane. I have to create some sort of made up theme for myself to go along with, and then I have to kind of create these stories and then make a design. And so I just like, dude, I'll bash my head against the wall literally for days, usually about a week. So the first 3 days is just me like collecting ideas. I'm in my studio and I'm at my desk. I'm just like collecting ideas and kind of like looking through the internet and sketching little things out and like I call it the madness, like just being mad about it. And
Right.
then after 2 days of that, 2 or 3 days of that, it kind of like focuses in on a theme, and then it just sort of gets easier. And then I just sort of like give up on fighting like the whole idea of the perfect thing that everyone's going to want, you know,
Right.
because and that's the hard part about shirts. Like I hate thinking about, oh, what are people going to like? But when you're creating as a business, when you're like making something and you're investing your money, you do have to kind of think like, what will people rock?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I make myself a little crazy, and then I just let it go and release, and then just thank God for friends and family, because
True.
they've just, you know, not everyone, of course, and I wouldn't expect everyone, but there's a large amount of folks who stuck with me like through the pandemic,
That's
through
dope.
all this stuff. Yeah, and it's like they pre-order everything and they pay to pre-order everything, and they literally keep the whole thing alive. Like they keep it afloat. And yeah, I could shift to like a massive pre-order for the world, but
Right.
that it's just like, so with everything I have going on, it's just like it's a whole nother business. Like just like how running the sock thing is your full-time thing, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
so I'm really blessed with the solid people that I built who are like helping me to continue to create, because they truly are, you know, because they afford me the opportunity to take a week and sit in an office and bash my head against the wall and try to come up with something good, you know. And thankfully, so far, I've done pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, dude. It seems
The
like it.
shirts seem to go. So, you know, and I feel bad though too now, because like everything is just so crazy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I can't. We used to release, you know, like once a week back in the day, or even once
Yeah.
every other week. But now it's like, man, I don't feel like you can release stuff as much. Just you're like literally crushing your audience if you release, especially with my stuff. It's like $100 hoodies, and
Right.
you know, it
Right.
gets crazy. So I'm truly blessed in that department that I have a support system. You know.
That's dope, man. Dude, honestly, one thing I've noticed, like, since when we first met back in 2016, and that's why I used that picture and like all the promo stuff on the thumbnail for this, is when we first met in 2016 SneakerCon. Like, since then, your audience has been like the most loyal audience I've ever seen for any YouTuber ever. Like
Yeah.
and I mean, it makes sense. It's warranted. Like you're the kind
It's
of guy
a
that
crazy
can.
place for sure. I mean, no one has any loyalty on that platform. You know,
They
it's
don't,
like
man. They don't.
Not at all. So yeah, the fact that there's even just a group, and that's what's crazy. Like, we get so lost in these numbers. Like, back in the day, put a video up, and overnight to get 40,000 views. And I'm sure you're used to even more than that. And it's like, you get inside. I remember one time Sager's like, "That's a football stadium,"
Yeah.
and being like, and I was like, "Don't say that stuff like that to me, man. It's gonna go to my head, and I'm gonna start thinking different, And then when it drops down to like an average of like 2 to 5,000, your ego could get involved, and you could be like, "Oh God, like I'm horrible." But it's like 2 to 5,000 people is a ton of
Huge
people.
amount.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's like even 200 people is a lot of people. Like, if 200 people showed up at your front door today, you'd be like, "Oh my God." Even someone out there who gets like 36 likes on their photo and feels boned about it, like, dog, 36 people giving a crap that you exist is kind of cool,
Yeah.
So, and those numbers are endless. Like, you probably have experienced, maybe you haven't, but once you hit certain numbers, you kind of start craving more and more, and it's like it's endless. It's
Right.
endless. You'll never not want 1 million, and then you'll want two, and it's just kind of like it's pointless. And then you realize people aren't people anymore. And so what I love about my audience now is that these are real people that can reach out and talk to me, and I can talk back to them. We might not agree, but it's like a real kind of friendship in that way, where it used to be so annoying with just the questions, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the people who, like, a shoe would come out and somehow people thought I had access to the vault of shoes. Please, bro, give me this. I'm gonna murder my sister if you don't give me these Yeezys or whatever. And then, how do these fit, bro? Or a video I just spent 4 hours on. Like,
Right.
someone asked a question from it, like, bro, watch the video. And then I have to be that guy that's like, watch this video, dude. So I appreciate the culling of the herd, if you will. You know what I mean? And I'm fortunate enough. Again, I have tattooing, I have art, and that was I came in the game with all that, and so I came in and I had my experience, and now I'm like still doing my thing when I can do it, but I don't rely on it, and it's it was a smart move on my part. So
Definitely, yeah. Because I feel like that's something, and that was one thing we wanted to do with the sock brand. Is like, I don't know how long my YouTube lifespan is going to be. I want to create something that goes beyond, like something I can be proud of, that's outside of just creating videos. And I think you've done that with your tattoo shop, and you're still doing the art that you love, and you're still able to express yourself through that, through a different medium, which is a medium that you've always sort of expressed yourself through, which is super cool. So, dude, that's awesome.
yeah,
This
the
is so.
socks are sick. You're
Thanks,
feeling in a
man.
good place. Like, they're good socks. Like,
Thanks, man.
you know me, dog. I love to hate. So,
I appreciate it.
but I wear them like every day. If I don't have a clean pair, if I don't have a clean pair of apothecaries, I'm upset. But that's really true. Like, when I open my drawer and I don't have apothecaries, I'm like, man,
Dude, let me know. I'll send you as many as you want.
don't say that, dog. I'm starting a trap video every day, apothecary. I'll be enslaved to the brand. I'll be like, oh God, I got to do another post today for my free socks. But,
So the video that you just posted, I think it's actually linked in the description below if you guys want to check it out. But the video you just posted, those opening shots, that's your new tattoo shop? That's your
that's
spot?
the shop. That's the spot. Strange Magic in Boulder. Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah, how are you
Yeah.
liking Boulder, man? Are you from Colorado originally? No?
No, I'm from North Carolina
That's
originally.
right. That's
but
right. You lived in New York for a while too, right?
New York. I lived all over, but New York, and then Colorado. When I met you, Colorado.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
First time. But we met in New York, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. SneakerCon 2016.
Okay, crazy. Yeah, you skip school to get there. The photo looks like you skipped class.
Dude, actually, my profile picture, you guys can't see this, but my profile picture on Google Hangouts is probably from 20. So now, shoot, I mean, I still like to think I'm young, but I'm 30 now, but you met me at 24, like right when because I got out of college at 22. So I was out of college for 2 years working a design job that I didn't really like that much. It was fine, but then I got fired, and I'm like, well, hopefully YouTube works out. That's the...
Yeah, you made it work, dog. You sent it. It works. But Boulder's all right. It's not my speed. I mean, the older I get, dude, the more I realize that it doesn't matter where I am. It's like there's certain things like family and food and all that you'll miss, but it's just about you,
Yeah.
So there's things about Boulder that I wouldn't pick this place, but
Right.
there's also things about Boulder that I'm very fortunate to be able to experience right now. It's like nature-wise, it's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
Bike trails, beautiful. All this stuff is beautiful. The problem is that it attracts type of people that you want to kind of like push off the bike trail sometimes, you know. But it's cool, you know what I mean? It's like everywhere's changing though, I feel like. So it's just you're in Philly, you're outside of Philly
Yeah,
though,
outside
right?
of Philly. Yeah, yeah. I'm in. I just moved. We were living in Philly for a long time, and then we moved out just outside into Jersey. So we're kind of across it. We're Jersey people now, which apparently has a
Okay.
stigma to it. I didn't realize, but
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, Jersey's crazy. I just have all these weird stereotypes about Jersey. I mean, I don't.
they're not wrong, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. The only experience I have is just driving through it by the Bada Bing, the strip club, going up to
Oh,
from The Sopranos.
oh,
It's not called
nice.
the Bada Bing in real life. It's called something else. But we would drive by it just to go up to Kingston.
Oh, nice,
It's
nice.
from when Ern would pick me up from the airport.
That's
So
dope.
that's my only really Jersey factoid I got.
That's a good. I mean, that's a good one. The only thing I have is that the drivers are bad and that the taxes are high. That's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Are they higher than New York?
They, I would, property taxes. Well, at least it's higher than Philly. I didn't. I was renting in New York, so I'm not sure. But I know that
Okay.
overall, I think I never had the way that my bank account was set up. No, the way that my business is set up is that I was doing an LLC in New York, and then now I'm an S corp, and so the way that it was set up was
Okay.
different. So I'm not actually sure, but I would assume that New York is probably higher, but I don't know for sure.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird business question, but yeah. Hey, old guy talk. Yeah, speaking of old, I like threw my back out today too.
Oh,
I'm like
really?
on the yeah,
Oh,
it's stupid. Like, because I've been back in the gym. Like I don't talk about it because I have a rule where I don't talk about the gym online because it's like it's the next. It's already taken over, but it's the thing. You know, like if sneaker con was the thing, sneaker influencer is the thing. Like what 5 years ago, 4 years ago, like the nucleus. That's where they're at now in fitness world,
yeah.
YouTube, and so I try not to talk about it. But today I did. I hurt my back pretty good. So
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah.
What,
I was like, can't even move. It's whack.
jeez. What were you
Yeah, I'm
doing?
like,
What
this
was
is
the
what I'm
exercise?
getting wrong. Oh, a deadlift, of course,
Oh, of course.
like an old idiot. And I'm like, yeah, I pride myself on good form, all that stuff. But I mean, it doesn't take much. And then afterwards, I realized I was kind of distracted. I was kind of like thinking about other stuff before I was like, man, I'm paying for this now, but now I can't even like walk without looking like an old lady. It's so whack. So, yeah, yeah. That's the fitness influence. That's the fitness influencer I should start as those videos. Where I'm hurt. Look at me. I'm fat and I'm hurt. you know?
Oh.
Stay out of the gym. You won't get hurt, kids.
Well, how do you feel about, like, since you've been on YouTube for so long and you've sort of seen the ebbs and flows, like from SneakerCon to where it is now? How do you feel about? I mean, it can be as specific as sneaker YouTube, but like just social media as a whole, like the whole TikTok phenomenon and
Oh
that sort of stuff.
man, I think it's, dude. I think it's bad. I
Yeah.
think it's. I mean, everything is Avatar.
Hmm.
I've never seen the movie Avatar, so I'm not really talking about that. But like everything kind of fits into these like it's like Grand Theft Auto or a video game. Everything has this very specific sort of subgenre that it fits into, or that
Right.
we categorize things into. And the internet has just gotten so it's so toxic with all these different subgenres of just craziness.
Right.
Like certain things stick out as like legacy. Like you give up straight up reviews of shoes, and
Right.
it's like no nonsense. It's like very uh, like it's clean. You know what I mean? And then you go on like TikTok. Like the other day on TikTok, not on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, a video came up that it's like a joke talking about like basically, I'm gonna say this the most G-rated way I can, like sexually innuendoing, doing things that involve people's faces, and I'm just like, yo, this is on YouTube Shorts, like. So I feel like it's with all the super short video content, like of course people's attention spans are getting like rocked. I just feel like nobody really cares.
Yeah.
I feel like we're so bombarded with little stuff that's just entertaining enough that no one really like cares anymore about what you have going on, and it's
Right.
really hard to care. And long form content, I mean, any of us are lucky to get anybody that I saw someone like scoffs at numbers. I'm like, dude, long form, you can get anybody to watch 5 minutes of something in
I know.
2023, like you're doing something, bro. So I just feel like on a large scale, we're losing audiences to quick form, and everyone is kind of jumping to it. Like everyone's making their stuff. Like we're all chopping up our YouTube kind of lied to us too and told us like, hey, if you chop up your videos, you'll make more money, and that wasn't true.
No, not
and
at all.
then yeah, and so it's just like they're trying to compete with TikTok, which is annoying.
Yeah.
You have to just like look at the consumer. It's like, dude, but people are not asking for more. But the caveat to that in my brain is, but we all want another season of Snowfall, another season of this, another season. So it's like maybe there's something about content that's not compelling anymore, or it being too hard to compel people with something that you don't have a big budget for. But I feel like we're losing the independence of YouTube, and it's just kind of getting corporate, you know? Like I lost my monetization for good now.
What?
Like,
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. They like clipped me the other week. They sent me this thing like, you've lost your monetization. I'm like,
what?
And at first I got all mad. It like ruined my morning. And I was like, Teddy, you haven't been getting really monetized for years, dude. Like pennies, you know, because I cuss and smoke weed and all this stuff. But now it's like completely gone.
Really?
Like they were like, when I sign in, it's like big thing. It's like, you're not monetized. So my next video is actually going to be about my war with YouTube that I'm having right now through email. But they're like, I'll give you a sneak preview. But they're tripping because it's not even a real person.
Right.
And they keep sending me back these emails, but they keep starting off the emails with, hi, this is Claudia stepping in for Joel. And then they'll just send me the same fucking email. And I'm like, yo, are you serious right now? So, yeah, I'm at war with them only for the principle because they haven't been paying me. It just circles me back to the whole, like, I have a community that is, like, really supported me with what I'm really trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And when I really think about it, it just, the principle is they keep calling my content harmful. They're saying I have harmful content. And this is what's driving me crazy is to reference the bodybuilding stuff we were just talking about, everyone's pushing steroids on the internet. To reference sneaker culture, a lot of people do not promote balance in collecting. They don't talk about the truth behind, you know, what they really do. Like you sell your stuff up front. I used to have sales up front. Like a lot of people don't really talk about what's really going on. Like the whole mirage of everything, you know what I'm saying? So one of the only reasons I still upload is to keep it real. Just like I really keep a video up every month just to check in and be like, hey, I'm still here. But I do think the culture of all of this is kind of crumbling. And I'm lucky to sort of be working in two places. I'm like, all right, I have the online thing, but I also have this brick and mortar that people can physically come to and it be a monument and a place to visit. So yeah, I don't know what the future looks like, dude. It's crazy. So, I know I'm not going to sell myself out and just like,
that's good.
Do whatever gets clicks. You know what I mean? So, I'm pumping steroids and they're just like shredding cheese on my abs in the morning for everybody. Telling everybody I like to get up there. And like that's the thing that's driving me crazy. People start working out like the first 2 weeks, and now every day their Instagram, that's their whole personality. You know? It's just like get out there, and it's like, dude, you get out there. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just live your life. Why I gotta do what you're doing? Yeah, if that's what I'm saying. If you go on the internet and everybody's just bombarding you with stuff you should be doing, you're just like, what should you should do this, you should do that. Yeah, like God, can I get breakfast before I've heard 7 biblical quotes telling me I'm doing life wrong? You know, oh my goodness. Can I live? You know, but yeah. But it's also our fault because we're so fucking addicted to picking it up and you know what I mean? Like I get one of those safes. Like maybe I get a sponsorship for that. Like, you know, you've seen those, the boxes you put in.
You put your phone in and close everything off. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about inventing an app. I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I will. An app for your phone that's like a shot clock for the corner. So when you open up Twitter, it gives you a shot clock how long you've been on that joint, you know? Like
that's great. Down. I'm sure there's something like that on like Android. There's got to be, right? Like
probably.
I'm an iPhone user. All these Android users are smarter than me, so I don't know. Well,
we need a shot clock. I mean, you've been on here too long, shot clock.
Oh man. So, dude, so I guess outside of YouTube, outside of tattooing, like what's your, obviously, you know, for a while your hobby was sneakers and things like that, but so what sort of stuff do you fill your time with outside of like outside of the business, you know?
Nothing, man. It's just art all the time. Because
That's
that's
dope.
really like what was. Because even like vlogging to me was just art. It was all about putting together a little thing. And the sneakers are something I was interested in for
Right.
sure, and other people liked it. But it was really for me about creating that story. Like I always go back and watch the montage parts of my vlog.
Oh, those are great.
Me talking, I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever, I don't care, So yeah, so it's really just focused me back into making more art. And then other than that, I just kick it with my girl and my dog, like regular stuff. But there's no other outside real interest. I have all these other interests, like I make the beats for the vlog still
That's
and
dope. Yep.
all this stuff, but I found myself I feel like I kind of took too much time and put it into the vlog for too long.
Hmm.
And because I vlogged every day for years,
That's true. You did. I forgot that you did that.
Yeah, it was insane. And then now I look at it, I'm like, how did you do this? And I
That is
realized I
nuts,
did it
man.
because I didn't have a social life at all. It's like so focused on the vlog. People thought I was crazy because it was. And yeah, so now I just try to make more art because my biggest thing is that I have been surrounded by a lot of untimely passings in the last few
Mhm.
years. And my main thing as I get older is like, dude, you got to get all this stuff done before you go. And for me, it's like, I don't feel like I've created enough stuff.
Mm.
And that's just where I'm at. So that's what drives me. I just want to, if I have the time and I'm feeling creative, I just want to make stuff.
That's awesome.
I play video games for 10 minutes and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. So. Yeah.
Do you still stream it? I'm assuming you don't really do it anymore, but do you still stream like the video
Sometimes,
games and COD stuff? Oh, nice.
sometimes,
Okay, cool.
yeah. Sometimes, I mean, I got a little janky PS5 webcam set up here,
Oh, sick.
so I'll just pop if I'm playing something. I mean, I still beast in Call of Duty. I don't care. But well, Call of Duty free for all, I guess I have to say, because Call of Duty Warzone and everything else is. Do you play
I've tried
all
it.
that stuff? Dude,
I
you have to have a college degree to play any of that. Like when someone was explaining DMZ to me, I was like, this is a video game or this is a real tactical mission? Because this is crazy. Like I don't even understand how to play the game. So yeah, I'm lost. I'm finally that old, man. I turned 40. I turned 40. I stopped eating gluten and cheese. Hurt my
really.
back. Oh yeah, I stopped doing all that stuff. And then
Wow.
that was supposed to all be a joke. I wasn't trying to focus on that, but but and now I don't understand video games. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's crazy.
Oh
So
man. Have you tried
yeah, I
any of the
turned
VR
40.
stuff?
Loving oatmeal. I can't do it for long. It gives me a
Mm.
headache.
Yeah,
We
makes
have an
sense.
Oculus, and I'm after like 10 minutes. I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I
dude.
tried. I got some streams of that.
Oh yeah. I need to check
Yeah,
those out.
me sitting in a chair, like, trying to play. I mean, I'm trying to sit down and play that shooting game that you have to stand for. Though
Right.
I can't remember the name of the game.
Is it the one
But
with all like the red people running around? You're like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's cool, but I can't. The headaches kill me, and I don't know, man. Video games are just so crazy now. Everybody's just so crazy.
I know,
You can't
dude.
just play, and all the streamers complain about skill-based matchmaking all the time. It's like if you don't live something, you
Yeah.
can't enjoy it anymore. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
just
that's what social media
crazy.
did, dude. It like shows us the best of the best all the time, and you're comparing yourself to these best of the best, whether it's like working out or gaming or whatever, and it just screws with your head. Like it's really, it's a bummer, man. It's awful.
Yeah. You gotta unplug from. It's just not real.
Yeah.
It's like walking through a super mall. It's like a all day long. You're just walking through like a super mall where you're getting these, yeah, like you said, highlights of just like the best stuff. It's just.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's weird because when I play Call of Duty, I can't even enjoy. If I play Warzone, I can't even enjoy it because I'm just
Yeah.
done for it, immediately.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I'm also 40, so maybe it's not for me anymore. Uh, I
Oh
have to
man.
clean my bike. That's the other thing I do. I ride my bike a lot.
Oh, true, true.
Yeah,
I do miss your bike vlogs, man. I really enjoyed those.
yeah, they'll be
Those are
back.
great. Okay, good.
That's the real thing too about vlogging. I just taking care of an elderly person is not vlog material. I mean, some people would make that vlog material, but I'm not going to. And, probably could make millions doing that, honestly. But
Probably, yeah.
it's not the move. But yeah, like when something worthy of like documentation that feels happy is like also when it'll come back normal. Because like
Right.
it's like building a business, like a brick and mortar store is a full on, takes a lot of work, you
Yeah, I
know? So
bet.
people not to realize, most people do realize, but to act like you could put a vlog out and be in a flow state of doing all that is just
Right.
sick. Couldn't do it, you know? And I've thought
Yeah.
about hiring a filmer because that's one thing that's missing. Like Ern's
Oh,
in
true.
Vegas now. That's one big aspect too, is like having another person that shares your vision that can hit record,
Yeah.
knows like what you're looking for is big. And me and her have had such a long relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and our lives just are different now. So that's another thing, like finding someone who I like have around that I actually, I don't know, trust or
Yeah.
can see it or I don't, you know, I don't want to have to someone record me all day and be like, dude, this is all garbage. You know, like what am I gonna do with this? So yeah, we'll see. You know, it's cool.
Did you is Ern still in Colorado or is he somewhere
No,
else
he's
now?
in Vegas,
Oh, he's
dog.
still in
Because we
Vegas.
went, yeah, we went to
Oh, wow.
Vegas, and then he stayed there because his wife's business did so well. She's a
Mm.
photographer,
Oh, that's awesome.
and she does wedding photography. So still nice media. But she's blew up there, so they
Hmm.
just stayed because she's killing it. And he was like, yeah, I mean, he travels with bands, so he can live wherever.
Oh, true. That makes sense.
They're talking about coming back here, but you know, with the way the world is, bro, like trying to move and buy houses and
Yeah.
you know, some Hunger Games and you know, like the
Oh,
shotgun
man.
shit.
Well, do you still watch any YouTube? Are there any channels? I'm assuming you probably don't watch any sneaker YouTube just because you're so used to it and you've been such a big part of it. But do you watch any like anything else? Like any? Do you even
Man, I
watch
don't
YouTube
know.
anymore?
I try. I mean, I spend a lot of time on YouTube watching stuff, but nothing. Sometimes I get into really not great stuff on YouTube, like criminal. Like I don't even know how this happened because a lot of times I listen to YouTube when I'm drawing or painting.
Right.
So, like interrogation videos, I'll end up watching like JCS is Justice Criminal Psychology thing is crazy. But after like 2 episodes, you're just like, dude, the world is so dark, I can't even handle this, you know?
Yeah.
I wish the algorithm would hook me up, you know? Like I get the worst suggestions, and because I looked up maybe one recipe or like one workout movement, it's literally just all like bodybuilding, and I can't. I tweeted as like we needed some sort of nuke button that you can hit that just like
For real
scatters
though.
everything, you know, and like brings more stuff in because I just like my algorithm lately is just whack. So I end up watching stuff about history and
Oh,
stuff like
nice.
that. I'm trying to think if there's anybody that I keep up with. There's not anybody I really keep up with. What is funny though is because I buy shoes randomly now. You
Oh,
know, like
really? You still buy?
well, like randomly some stuff. Like I got those Asics Tribucos, you know, the
Okay.
other day, which at first I liked, but now I hate them. I'm like,
Right.
God, man, walking around in these is awful. Like, it's not knit at all on top. It's just terrible on top of your foot. And but I like the way they look. I'm like, man, they look so cool, but they're not. They're just not great. Shout out to that Adidas 50% off plug still, because I'll just get myself a pair of Ultra Boost after this call. But yeah, I'm wearing Soleil Crocs right now because those are funny. But
Nice.
yeah, just like random stuff I've tried. It has been mostly just stuff I'm used to. Like I got some of the New Balance Teddy collabs
Oh,
just
those are
because, you
dope.
know, Teddy's got to stick together
Of course.
no matter
Of
what.
course.
No matter what. Yeah, you know. Uh, but yeah, so I've tried new stuff, but I'll always find myself looking up reviews on YouTube, and then I
Nice.
found people who aren't like you and the other people who've
Right.
been doing it. Like some shoes, you know, like don't hit everybody's radar. So there's like these smaller creators who are doing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really good.
Yeah, they
But
are.
man, sometimes they're bad. And sometimes when it's a bad shoe review, you're like, bro, like what? Have you not studied the other guys? You
Yeah,
know what I'm
right.
saying? Get the edit button out. What are you doing here? You know, and for anyone out there who's thinking about starting, they now have straight up apps that you can get that will cut your videos up for
Yeah.
you. So
It's
you don't even
crazy.
have to do the work. Like you could just you can sit down and record all your goofiness. It'll cut it up for you, and then you can do a little bit of editing maybe, and you're good to go. So, but yeah, it's funny because I watched a couple of reviews on those Tribucos, and I was like, man, these reviews are not amazing. You know, I'm like, I am not compelled to buy this shoe, but then I found it in front of retail, so I was like, all right, whatever. So, yeah.
Bro,
But yeah, it's still Boost all day though, bro. Like
that's what I was
nothing
gonna
else.
say.
Nothing else. I mean,
Did you see the Ultra Boost lights? The ones that
I think I'm
Adidas
going to
used?
order a pair because they put those all reds out, and I usually like a solid red pair of shoes. So I think I'm
Yeah,
going to grab. I still get a hookup from the homie, so I think
that's dope.
I'm going to grab those after this because I was thinking today, like, man, I just can't wear these other shoes out for long. It just hurts. So I'm spoiled, but yeah, I mean, I don't like the way Adidas has handled really anything at all.
Yeah.
It's 5 years, but 6 years maybe, even 7. But I cannot deny what is true, and what is true is the shoes are more comfortable, you know. So I wish there was something that could be done. I wish they would put out better colorways. But you know, you can't beat a free hiker in the winter and an Ultra Boost in the summer, as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to realize you have everything you need. You know,
Yeah.
like
True.
salt and pepper is a good example, right? Like you don't look for something else. You know what I'm saying? When you got a steak, you're like, oh, I got salt and pepper. You're not, unless
You
you
don't
don't
add
know how to
butter
cook
or...
steak. Well, not me. I don't eat dairy,
Oh,
so.
fair enough. Fair enough.
But I personally on a steak don't. I feel like a good steak just needs salt and pepper.
Fair
You know what I'm
enough.
saying? But you
Yeah.
don't look for another seasoning. You know, so that's all you need. And if you do need butter, you don't look for something else after that. It's like if you got salt, pepper, and butter, you're not like, oh, now I need A1, and now I need truffle flakes, and now it's like at some point, bro, salt and pepper is all you need, dog, and that's kind of where I'm at with shoes. And like, okay, like, and it's nice to enjoy them. I look back at some of those photos, bro. Someone should have come and got me. I look back and see my sneaker room when it comes up in memories on Instagram, and I think about reposting it. And I'm like, dude, this. Someone should have come got me. I have this shit color coded across the room. It's like a pure example of how the internet can get you out of control like quickly. You know, like, oh. I'm out here reviewing the tan Ultra Boost like anyone gives a crap. You know? Here it is in tan.
Dude, that's what people wanted to watch, man. It was crazy because you would drop, dude. You were the definitive Adidas person, like out of anyone, and you probably sold more shoes for Adidas than Adidas's marketing sold for Adidas.
Yeah, that's why they got mad, dude. The marketing team is really upset. They were really not happy with me, and it's unfortunate. But that's also just like sometimes I feel personally embarrassed because I'm like not a corporate guy, and I'm totally like more of a tattooed, sort of fringed. Not to put myself in an avatar, but you know, like that's where I fit in, sort of. It's like this kind of anti-hero, if you will, more than, you know, whatever. I'm not Superman, that's for sure. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate that it had to go that way. You know, it's just, you know, I don't know. It's just I don't know what else to really say about it. It's just they didn't understand. They don't understand, and now the whole brand's that like pocket of relevance I don't think will ever exist, and I don't think it's because of me. I think it's just because no one really cared, and I truly cared, and then I just got so turned off that it's just like, dude, it's so yeah. But we'll see what happens with them as a brand. It's not looking great, so I also don't know why people care. You know, people are like, they're gonna lose the first time in 30 years, they're gonna lose money. I'm like, why do you care? You know, like what? What do you care? And does anyone know what the stock was before Kanye joined?
Yeah, true.
Like, people don't remember what it was like. I mean, I don't have the exact numbers, but I do remember that when everyone bought stock, like right before Kanye joined or after, and everyone bragged, like those next 3 or 4 years, dude, like remember Wex would post quarterly earnings, being like, everyone who got in, and it's like, and now that it's coming down, people are like, oh, they're not going to make money. Dude, that's still a huge corporation. So. But yeah, coming from that non-corporate background, like I'm a little embarrassed sometimes. I'm like, man, it sucks that I had to like kind of take this corporate route to get people's attention. But that is what it is, and I just, you know, I don't think about it too hard and try to rebrand myself as who I truly am, which is someone who just makes art. You know what I'm saying? So those who get it, and those who don't will keep buying sneakers.
Well, I think what made you so interesting, like when you were like really, really heavily posting daily, is that it was people liked you for your personality, and you were literally I guess, influential and influencing them because they're like, well, I want to be like Teddy. I want to try this thing that he speaks so highly of. And I think it was more so you than even the sneakers themselves. Obviously, there was like some appeal from the sneakers, but I think it was a lot of like, I wouldn't even hit yourself over the head about the corporate thing, because I think you were definitely an entity outside of that. And I think that people were just watching for you. They just really loved. I mean, that's what I know I did. Like, I didn't really care what sneaker you reviewed, but I just wanted to see what you were reviewing, what you were up to, like what art you were working on, like stuff like that was just really cool.
That's the hard part for me now, is I'm like, I look at the internet, and it's probably my own perception because I feel so bombarded with shit. But a lot of times I'm like, I don't even feel like talking about this. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
at some points I've even thought about doing like a straight up comedy routine, like to approach all of the things I want to talk shit about.
Right.
Because it's not, I feel like the internet is such a weird vessel now to make jokes that if I don't do stand up, then people aren't going to take it serious, or not going to take it the right way,
Yeah.
So I've like juggled with all these things, like, what do I do? Which I also don't want to do that, because all stand up is selling alcohol.
Right.
And it drives me crazy. Like, it drives me crazy that almost everything in this world is an advertisement for alcohol or like an alternate lifestyle. And it irks me. So I feel really stuck. And same thing with video content. It's like complaining about ads. Like, I don't really even want the ad money, because I don't want to push whatever is showing up on my video that I have no control over.
Right, exactly.
So I want more people to just purchase straight from me. I want to turn more people onto that anyway. But that's a hard thing, It's like, I want to put out more content, but I also want to just put it out on my own website. But we all know if I put it out on just my own website, like, the viewership's going to get cut in half. Like, people aren't going to be on my website like they are YouTube.
Right, of course.
So you have to take these crazy leaps if you want to make a change, and it kind of feels like you're starting over, and you're like, oh my God, I put in so much work. So you just have to make sure whatever you're doing it because you love it, because there may not be people always around. You may not even have the platform. Like YouTube, I get in an argument and they shut this whole thing off.
Yeah.
And then I got to start over from scratch anyway. So it's nice to hear that you think it's my personality, because sometimes I do think I get in my own way, where I'm like, I don't want to just chime in on the Alex Murdoch murders, because literally every video is about this. But then sometimes you have to realize that you're unique, and people do want to hear your unique take on it. And, especially with me, I make my stupid jokes. So it's probably somewhat of a relief, though. It's nice to hear you say it, so I appreciate it.
Dude, I mean, even just looking at sort of what I think the reason that, because I remember when we first met, like, I think I was at like 8,000 subs and you were at like 30,000 subs, and then within like 2 months you were, or 3 months, I don't know how long it was, but you were like at almost 100,000, if not 100,000 subs. You're blowing up faster than everybody else, and it was I would say it was obvious to me, but it wasn't easy to replicate. You took a different approach to it than I think anybody else did. Everyone was vlogging, everyone was doing sneaker reviews, but yours was like very, very honest. I mean, I know from honestly, even just looking at my videos, like it was my opinion, but it's like, if a brand wanted to send me stuff, great. Like, I'm not going to say, I won't lie about it, but I'm not going to say like this shoe sucks. You know what I mean? Like, you were always straight to the point, no matter who sent you stuff. And I think even just with your content, like, that came across really well. And I think people really appreciated that. And then you also had your own thing going on the side. You were a tattoo artist. Most of us were just like kids at that point. Like, I can't speak for like Nightwing or, other people like that, but most of us were like, either teenagers or, young people who didn't really have a grasp on reality at that point. So it was really nice to see someone who had, I mean, honestly, some insight and some perspective that a lot of us didn't have. And I think people really were gravitating to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that, because tattooing also just such a alternate lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And when people just see you do that, I have 2 kids who are studying under me right now, 2 apprentices.
Oh, that's awesome.
And to like have the realize that that this is a different path in life, bro. Like, you're gonna have to do all this yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get all these customers. You're gonna have to convince all these people to get tattooed by you.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. Like, seeing someone else break through and just do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And the perception probably to most people was, he's making a lot of this money off YouTube. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which for the first bit, for the first little, until the Adpocalypse, I was doing great. I couldn't believe it. I was getting these checks and I was like, what? Bro, I was like, I'm not tattooing, because I was getting checks for that. And then the t-shirt checks were crazy. And I was like, oh yeah, no way. I'm just going to travel. This is perfect, But literally in the middle of traveling, I got clipped on YouTube. Like, it went from 10 grand, 12 grand a month to
Right.
$120. And I
It
was
was
like,
that big of a drop?
yeah, bro,
That's
like
crazy.
full on Icarus melted my wings and shot me
Oh
back
my
down to earth.
gosh.
Like I remember waking up in a hotel and looking at it's like you got your payout. I was like, oh, sick. Let's look at this. What we gonna buy today, baby? And I, look at my phone. I was like, not much. So then all that happened, and I was just like, man, But then the shirts were fine, so it was all good. We just really pushed it, but then, dude, COVID, it's like really put it like, damn, not to be a broken record with everybody, but damper and all that stuff. What was the original question? I feel like I keep trailing off.
Shoot, dude, I honestly, I
Yeah, I
I don't
keep
know if
trailing
there.
off. I do this. It's the prescriptions that I take. Just kidding. But yeah, I can't remember what your original question was.
Oh, I was asking you like, so I didn't realize that you had gotten clipped that much. Like that's such a huge drop. But at that point, you were still like, were you still living off like the t-shirts and like off your
Oh yeah,
store? And
that's what we were talking about. I said most people thought it was YouTube. So yeah, it was
Mhm.
just the teach because I quit tattooing for the most part.
Oh, I didn't
I'd
realize.
take, yeah, I just couldn't do it, bro. Like
Right.
I couldn't be in the shop. I was annoying everybody in the shop. I mean, everyone in the shop was starting to hate me. I'd leave the camera set up, and people would be like, "Is that thing recording?" You know what I mean? Because
Right.
my way of recording is so, I guess, gonzo, as some people would call it. That I just like, I just leave it set for hours. So I catch people doing shit they necessarily didn't want seen on camera, and they'd be like, "Dude, was that camera recording back there?" And I'm like, maybe, I don't know. You can trust me." But so and then music would be playing in the background, like, "Can you turn the music
Oh
down for a little bit?"
yeah.
Well, it just got so uncontrollable. People would stop by the shop just for a photo,
Oh
which got
really?
super weird with like, I mean, I'll never get used to taking photos with people and like people. I'll never. When I watch this, go back and watch those videos, it's like not even watching my own life. I'm like, that's so crazy. That's me. But it's just like, yeah, they just got super annoyed. So I had to kind of quit. And then we sort of just went on the road. I treated it like a rapper. I was like, we need to hit the road and kind of like reach out to the people. And, that's how we met, whatever.
Right. Right.
So really the shirts, man, like the shirts were doing all of my paying for everything,
That's
paying for my
amazing.
travel. Like, yeah, we were killing it. And then even when the boost got, like when the cease and desist came in,
Right.
I thought it was pretty much over. I was like, boost God's like the only reason people are buying shit. And then we switched over to, I'm not wearing it, but the symbol that I use or
Yeah.
whatever, we just kind of switched over to that like overnight. And we put some stuff that said BG because it wasn't in the lawyer stuff to not use
Right.
BG yet. And then, so we got kind of like made this shift, but dude, we sold more of that stuff than we did the Boost God stuff. So then it was just like off to the races. But
Right.
then as I started to review shoes and be honest, like the unfortunate thing about this culture is a lot of people want you to just kind of agree with them.
Right.
Not only
Yeah.
brands, but like the people watching, they want reinforcement on what they're doing. So
Yeah.
when I come out and say something like Jordans are whack, I've already isolated myself. Like some people emotionally can't handle me having that opinion. Some people love it, but some can't. And that's where I like the way I played it because I played myself.
Right.
But a smarter person would play it and just do something different because but I guess depending on which route you want to be, I just can't live with when they sent me a shoe without boost, I was like, thanks for the shoe. It's not
Right.
boost, but I do appreciate being thought of. It's like, it just got so tiring too, like playing this game with them,
Yeah.
like Wax shaking my hand and saying things like, oh, we really need to pick your brain, have you out to the headquarters, da 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 da, but also trying to block me from events and stuff.
Hmm.
It's just got real
I didn't
shady
realize.
and yeah. So,
Huh.
but
Why do you think that was? Do you think it was because of the smoking or like
I think it's
the
what you're saying. I think the honesty. I mean, think
yeah.
about how much, because this is the other thing that we don't think about, or I don't think about. I guess you
Hmm.
don't really shit on stuff like that, but when you shit on something on the internet, you're doing that on someone else's hard work.
True.
Now,
Very
and you
true.
don't understand the constraints that person was put under when they made that
Yep.
work,
Yep.
especially when it comes to shoes. So it's like I do feel guilty in some senses of like dismissing things so quickly. Like, this is whack. It doesn't fit into me. You didn't impress me. I'm an influencer, bait. And it's like it comes off real ingenuous. So there is a part where you're like, man, there's so much you don't know about this. Like, you're talking about something you don't really know. And that's where I
Right.
kind of could understand some people. Maybe they put something out and I was like, man, fuck that shoe. And they were like, dude, screw this guy. He just ruined, you know, because of what you're talking about, that influence becomes dangerous.
Right.
Because then if I say, screw this shoe, and a bunch of people are online typing it, it looks bad to someone. And then they're like, we can't use this guy the way we want to. Because no matter what the brand is, they all know they can't utilize me the way they could someone else.
Right.
Literally almost anyone else. So
right. Yeah,
I'm
true.
probably not the best pick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
very true.
That's why I didn't get flown out for the night jogger thing. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude, that was a big deal, especially when you know some people got paid like real serious money for that.
I heard about that. I was not one of those people. I was still in the mindset of like, oh, you know, a couple $100 and a free trip, let's do it.
Yeah, to London even, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was great, but then I talked to some other people there, and they're like, listen, like when you're only asking for a couple $100, it makes all of us seem like we could only do it for a couple hundred, or we will only do it for a couple. And I didn't realize I was affecting other people's.
You're peeing in the pool. That's what we call it in business. Don't pee in the pool. Yeah, when a tattooer is doing Halloween specials or a special every time a new event comes, I was like, that's cool, whatever, man. Do what you do. You're cheapening your own brand and you're peeing in the pool for everybody else. So
very true.
Yeah, and in business, there's certain things like you can be the cheapest if you want. That's one strategy, but you're not going to make the most money being the cheapest. You either got to be right in the middle or more expensive, you know, and there has to be a reason. But yeah, that was crazy not getting invited to that. But when you think about what we've been talking about, I hated that shoe.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that before that event.
Right.
So if they had paid me, let's say, 20 grand to come out there and do this thing, and then I would have felt compelled to be like, no, dude, it's okay. Like, I would have found me some reasons to find the night jogger cool. You know,
right, exactly.
Bitch, I'll wear them shits for 3 months. No problem. Everybody, night jogger, no problem. Let's go. But so in hindsight, it's a good thing because I could have easily lost. And not to say that anyone else did, because not everybody else is me. Not everybody else even has that same relationship when they look at a shoe where they're like hella critical of all this stuff and like, you know, looking at it from an artistic perspective, not just I'm going to wear these and get some pussy perspective. You know what I mean? So,
true.
Yeah, but the night jogger was crazy. I remember we were there in Japan and they were still like doing the displays for him.
I know.
I was talking all kinds of shit. And you were like walking away from me. I was like, oh, sorry, Sam. That was great. I loved it. I still think about all the time you being just straight up amazed at me doing voice to chat to talk crap back to people on Twitter.
It's great.
Like, is that how you do that all day? I'm like, yep.
Dude, I was literally watching that video earlier today because I was trying to find a screen capture for like the thumbnail of this video, and I started watching it, and I literally clicked on that middle section. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's great!"
Yeah,
and I completely forgot about that. Do you still do that? Are you still voice chatting on Twitter?
Yeah, I still will.
That's great.
I type out some now because I'm not on the move as much, but I still hit off an argument. If I'm arguing with somebody on text, especially my girl, it's definitely voice to chat because I need to get more text. I need to get more information per minute than you could even text, you know? Shock and all, baby. Like, oh, you want to type? You know?
That's great. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you still are you planning to go back to Japan anytime soon, or are you
not anytime soon, man? Not with all this crazy. Well, A, we can't leave for a while. We're just kind of stuck here. But B, like after the pandemic, I don't really feel like I got my fill, you know. That's why I rushed back out there right when COVID kind of broke in China. I was like, I got to go back out there before they shut this down.
Right.
I got back, they shut it down the next day.
Wow.
So
I didn't realize
I got back and they shut down America the next day. I was losing my mind. I think that's why we moved to Vegas, honestly.
Right.
I just was like, I need something. I came from all the stimulus. Where did I go? Vegas. So, yeah, I think I'm going to give it a rest for a couple of years, you know, see what happens. I won't lie. I'm not political, but I do pay attention a little bit. I'm not going to lie and say I'm not worried about the state of the world moving forward, especially in Asia. So I'm kind of chill and see what it's like. Because the last thing I want to do is go and not enjoy myself.
Right, exactly.
And I've done it, man. Like Japan, I rocked it out. You know, I did. It's real easy and desirable because those vlogs are great and amazing, and I I go back and I watch them. I'm like, again, I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe I got to do this.
Yeah.
And one thing people don't know is those Japan trips were paid for off StockX money.
Really?
Like,
I
oh
didn't
yeah,
know
that's
that.
all StockX money.
Wow.
So that was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, and that's long gone. And now sometimes I feel like I need to go back and delete all my StockX videos, but I don't remember what the contract said or how long they have to be up. But yeah, so we'll see. After things chill out, I just kind of think globally things are weird. And
Yeah.
right now I'm just real focused on my health, dude. I'm just like, I let a lot of shit go and just trying to get back in shape and just,
That's
40
awesome.
now. So I kind of got to, watching someone kind of fall apart in all intents and purposes is really kickstarted the idea that I need to build up more of a healthy base that can start breaking down as I get older. And I just, in your 30s and you're having so much fun, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're finally an adult with who can like maneuver through life. And I just wasn't, because in my 20s I was super into bodybuilding.
Oh,
And
really?
then I didn't, yeah, it was all I cared about in my early 20s. And then I didn't care anymore. And then I just was like, whatever. And then, so my 30s was my bulk. 30 to 40, I just bulked up, maybe, and like barely went to the gym, like whatever. So now I'm just like really concentrated on that and just kind of like
That's awesome.
making, yeah, because I've given up myself up for a lot of other stuff, and it hasn't rewarded me perpetually the way that I feel like, concentrating on my own health will do. This is why there's the Wealth to Buy Health socks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of those socks are for that reason. It's just,
Of course, it's the one
which is
sock
how
I
I
don't have.
create. Like usually what's going on is what I'll try to reference. Like my newest shirt that's coming out has rabbits for Year of the Rabbit.
That's awesome.
We had also kind of played with a rabbit design. We just didn't do it. And then there's like an American eagle and an Asian dragon, because
That's dope.
it's subtle. Like I don't want to put out a shirt that says we're gonna go to war, but I'm like, there's a subtle shirt that you can wear. It's cool and it's striking and it's dynamic, and so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess on that note, let me do a quick Apothecary plug just for everyone who's just tuning in. So we've got the brand new Apothecary Teddy collection right here. I only have 3 of the socks, unfortunately, because one of them's in the laundry, but you got 4 fire socks. They're all dropping tomorrow, apothecary.com, 11 a.m. Eastern time. All designed by Teddy. Dude, I was talking about these in a video on Monday, and I didn't know what kind of bird this was. I watched your video, I forgot. And so I was a sparrow, yeah. I was calling it, I was calling it a swallow for a while. And I was calling
same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Sparrow and swallow, basically same thing.
Are they really? Because I don't know anything about birds.
Someone out there's gonna Google defy me, but like in tattooing, if someone's like, I want a sparrow or a swallow, it's the same damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bird, man. It's not a raptor, it's a bird. So yeah. No, dude, stuck in the socks.
Yeah, man. This one in particular is crazy.
Too, right?
We're starting to do that a little bit. It's something that we've kind of dipped our toes into, and I think we'll start moving into more in the future. Just because it's like, as much as we love socks and as great as socks are, like I feel like clothing is just another natural progression, just like like essentials, like underwear, t-shirts, hoodies, things like actually this hat too. Like the crazy thing. Oh yeah, I forgot the camera's right over here. The crazy thing is that this hat is like become probably the best-selling thing on our website outside of like sock drops and some of the essential like the hats sell like crazy, and we trademarked it, so it's like we should be good with it. But like I've been seeing stuff like this pop up online, which is weird. I never thought that was gonna happen. Like it's like you ever see who are there's some people I watch on, or people I follow on Instagram who do like renders of the leaked shoes that are coming out. Have you seen like how they so there's a I'm trying to shoot oh my gosh, there's so many of them. There's some big ones though. I completely forget their name, and I just saw them at SneakerCon. I completely doesn't matter. But they put out like these Photoshop renders of upcoming shoes in different colorways, and then these fake factories come in and literally make these shoes. Like,
okay. Yeah, they were doing
that
that back in the day. I remember that, like some of the old Yeezys and stuff.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, have you tried any of the, I guess, recent Yeezys? Any of the like the knit runners or the foam
my
runners
relationship with Yeezy is so weird, dude, because like I got lost. I stopped doing the Yeezys when the Christian thing happened. This is gonna sound so backwards, and I hope it doesn't turn into like a political thing. But like,
right.
When the gospel thing, I'm from the South, so gospel's been shoved down my throat my whole life. So it was like when the gospel thing happened, I just couldn't do it, and I thought it was kind of a troll at first, and then I realized it kind of wasn't, and I was like, all right, I can't follow this. And I still appreciate him as an artist, but I was like, I feel associative sometimes. So I feel like when you
Right.
wear something, you are associating. Like if you go out into public with something on that is associated with a person, like that is in some way showing support for that person.
Yeah.
If someone buys a shirt for me, I'm thanks for the support. So why would it not be the same way, the other way around? So
Yeah.
at that moment in time, it got weird, and I feel like the way you dress is how you express yourself. So I would stop
Totally.
buying Yeezys, you know. It all kind of happened at the same time because also when I stopped buying Adidas for a while, other than just a
Yeah.
pair of shoes to wear. I'm not a martyr. I'm not going to put my feet through hell just because I don't like them. So I keep losing my train of thought because I'm the worst.
You were saying how you feel like you represent or you're sort of
Oh yeah,
associated
yeah,
with
the
them. Yeah.
Yeezys. Okay, so
Yeah.
so then as things kind of came back or whatever, I never got back into the shoes, but then some of the things he would say publicly I'd agree with, some things I disagree with. But what I don't agree with is how everybody just I don't agree with how everyone talks about things, mental health,
Mm-hmm.
and then they like treat people completely different than when they show signs, if that's what it is. But also B, these platforms aren't a place that you can like have these sort of existential risky conversations where you can explore ideas and it's a safe space to do so. It's just not,
Right.
because everyone can take anything and turn it into a headline now, you know, just like the reconciliation rumor last week, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it's because no one has any content, bro, so they need something, and it's just
Yep.
it's sad, really, because those people feel compelled to feed the machine. It's like, you don't even need to do this, dude. It's not even a true story. It really just cheapens you because now you're just reporting stupid stuff.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I just feel super, I feel bad for the dude. I feel like his moves with Adidas are funny to me
Yeah.
because Adidas cost me a lot of money. So for me, I definitely grin and laugh when Adidas takes an L like they're about to take. But I really think the whole like social media structure of talking about risky things like religion and race and anti-Semitism and all this stuff is such a terrible place for it. And for brands and people to start picking these sides and get mob mentalities, it's just so whack. And
Yeah.
I checked out. I just checked out of it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I think that we'll never see anything like Kanye West and footwear again. I think the people like us who lived through this little moment in shoes for our little moment in time on this earth, we're not going to experience anything else like that surge of creativity back into a dull market that
Yeah.
really just rehashes the same stuff over and over. And until someone else comes along who they let get in there and like really mess with the DNA. Because Adidas, that's the one thing Adidas has going for them, is they have a great DNA vault of
Yep.
past ideas that can be, you know, re-Frankenstein and electrified and brought back to life. Problem is they don't know what chef to put in the kitchen. And the problem is they won't let the plate leave the kitchen without telling everybody how to fix it. And so
Right.
until they do that, it won't change. But I don't think you're going to see anything like that ever again. You know, you're going to try, you know, but I just don't see it. Because no matter how you feel about Kanye and some of the crazy stuff he says, like the man's creativity level is beyond what everybody else is doing. Even musically, if I listen to a fucking Yeezy album or a Jay-Z album, not to start a debate because everybody has their own thing, but like creatively, sonically, removing the words, thinking of like the way it's dynamic, like it's uncomparable. So
Yeah.
you're just not going to see it again, you know. So
Yep.
yeah, see, it's interesting to see what happens. We'll say that. But no, I never tried the knit runners. But did I take a L? Should I have?
The
I
foam
mean, is
runners
it
I like. The knit runners I wasn't a fan of. But that was another. It's funny that you said earlier how anytime you speak badly about a shoe, like you feel bad because like someone literally put their time into that. And I there was that sort of phase when the Yeezy team was dropping like the knit runners and the boots and things like that. And I really just like I hated. I didn't hate them. I just talked like my videos were just like
But that stuff wasn't him though, and that's where
it wasn't.
That's where stuff gets conflicting. Like if you start critiquing a brand because they've lost the vision,
Yeah.
then it's kind of like, oh, like when the Dazzle Blue came out, I was
I
like,
know.
you guys really think he has something? So you mean to tell me you guys think that the shoes went from these old Hebrewish names
Yeah,
to
I know.
Dazzle Blue, and you think that wasn't a corporate decision? Like I couldn't tweet it because again, like I was saying, like people don't want to hear it. They just
Yep.
wanted like, oh no, buy this, you know. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. It looks like a Fortnite shoe, whatever. But yeah, it like wasn't him, so it lost that entire authenticity that you were down for. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because again, like, yeah, I did make the point that someone did work on it. You shouldn't like completely tear it apart. But at the same time, man, like shoes are
I
$260,
know.
and they took a job at Adidas or
I
Yeezy,
know.
and everybody's putting out this product, and people aren't quitting their jobs over it. You know, like
Yep.
if I worked at a tattoo shop that started tattooing crazy bad stuff, I'd be like, yo, I gotta quit. You guys are awful. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
at some point, that's where everybody gets bought, and then they don't say anything, and they don't do anything. So
Yep.
there's a yin and yang to everything. You know what I mean? I try to like acknowledge like, hey, someone worked on this, but at the same time, you know, like you sold me a dud, bro.
Yeah, right.
Like if I run crooked lines on tattoos, people ain't gonna not say nothing. So you know.
Have you ever had any like really bad tattoo experiences where
Oh
someone
yeah.
didn't? What's
Oh
your
yeah.
What's your worst tattoo experience that you've had that you're willing to talk about? Is there anything crazy that's happened that you're like, this was just,
The worst
or maybe did
experience.
someone ever get mad? Like someone told you one thing, you did it, it came out great, and then they were just like, this is not at all, and then they lose their mind or something like that. Was there any like crazy customer stories that you got? Or
The only real person that I remember, the only person I remember being like super, like coming back and saying that to me was when my early career, when I was just like real eager to do the stuff I wanted to do and not the stuff on the wall. And like we tattooed drunk people back then. 'Cause in North Carolina, no one cared. The shop was whatever. So this guy was super drunk. I mean, he's like pounding beers in the parking lot, and he's this redneck dude. He's like leather skin, you know. He's like, I want something in this spot right here, man. And I'm like, well, what do you want? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, skull, bro. You gotta do a skull because all I want to do is skulls, and I still only just want to do skulls. But and so yeah, I talked him into a skull. And at the time, it was like cool and tattooing, trendy to do circle eyes, like just
oh
straight
yeah,
circles. And so I did circle eyes, and I maybe colored them in red, and like maybe the skull was green because again, trendy just to do these color combos. And he came back the next day, and he's like, "Man, this thing look like a damn alien, bro. What is this thing?" You know, and I was like, "Skull. Is this the same skull I ever seen?" And so he was all bummed on the circle eye. So he made me put shades over his turned the circles into shades. And he's like, hell yeah, man, that thing looks badass now. So that was like a funny one, but I can't remember anyone ever coming back just being like super bummed on anything. I mean, of course, had stuff where I had to fix something or like someone moved or I've misspelled names in my early career.
makes
Like
sense.
it was really bad. Those were really bad situations. But again, like your personality comes through where you're like able to talk yourself through it. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. We fixed this, you know. So early career, I'm sure there's some stuff I've just blocked out. Someone listening to this, like, I got this damn thing, man. Fuck this guy. But yeah, nothing too. I mean, I got a lot of crazy stories that are not YouTube suitable, but yeah, not really too many crazy people freaking out on me about what they've gotten.
Well, that's good.
Ooh,
That's
I
great.
do have a crazy story though. This is a crazy story, and it really makes me seem like a piece of shit. So it's really good to tell self-deprecating. Maybe it's healing, but so I was really young, and I'd take any tattoo I could get. So this guy who owned a nail salon wanted his back done tribal back to back. Also crazy that tribal is coming back.
I know.
It's insane. Insane and barbed wire. But so back to back tribal. But this guy, he's like, I can only do it in the morning. And I'm like, I don't care. What time you want to do it? He's like, 6 a.m. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like 21. I don't care. I'm like, I want to tap. So 6 a.m. I meet him at the shop. He's been up all night partying. I didn't know this at the time, but he'd been up all night partying, and we have to do this huge tattoo across his back.
Right.
And I started the tattoo. It's going awfully. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not an expert, so I'm just struggling through this tattoo. It's 6 a.m. he's been up all night doing ecstasy and partying. So long story short, I finish it. It's one of the worst tattoos I've ever done. I don't see it healed, but I know it healed like shit. And at this time, I just started tattooing, so I was 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. And I was pretty fat. I was probably like 350 pounds, like chubby, super fat dude, into hardcore, just big dude. And that's when I first started getting into bodybuilding as well. It was around the same time. So I dropped like 150 plus pounds back in the day.
Right.
And then I moved shops. It's years later. It's like 5 years later. I'm working in a different shop across the city. I don't look like the same person at all because I'm like half the man I used to be, literally. This dude walks in the shop that I did the back tattoo on.
Right.
And he's like, hey, I got this tattoo a few years ago. And I realized he doesn't know that I did it. He's just like, yeah, the guy who did it, man, really shitty guy, shitty artist, like totally unprofessional. This is fucked up. He's like, maybe meet him there at 6 a.m. I was like, this motherfucker. I was like, that wasn't me who wanted to meet at 6 a.m. But I didn't say anything. But he's like, takes off his shirt, and my homie is standing right next to me who knows that I did this tattoo. And he takes off his shirt, and I'm looking at the tattoo, and I'm like, yeah, man, whoever did that really fucked you up. I'm gonna have to. That's probably gonna be about $800,000 to fix that. And he was like, yeah, no problem. And so he paid me to fix it, and he literally did not ever notice that it was the same person doing the tattoo. So I don't know if that was the drugs he was on or what, but yeah, crazy. But when we did it the second time, it looked great. So
you got two original Teddies.
Yeah, man, what a crazy story that is. So this is the things I have to remember when I'm like looking at my apprentices, and I'm like, why are you guys so stupid? And I'm like, oh, Teddy, remember, you once were worse than this, you know. And at least these kids have the internet, bro. We were just biker magazines and rumors were all where we got.
It's crazy to think how much stuff has changed over the last like 15 years. I mean, like when I was growing up, like I didn't have a cell phone. I guess we got the internet when I was probably, I guess, a teenager. But it's crazy to think about that, like how different the world was just so recently, and how it's completely going to be changed forever, just because of this one thing.
It's never going to go back, bro.
No,
it is crazy.
Yeah,
that's life though. I mean, I can't get comfortable with the way life is. We were also all kind of born into like a really flourishing time, you know.
It's true.
It's like you go back in history and you look at stuff, you're just like, oh my God, which is a great reason to be grateful when you wake up, man. Like, you know,
definitely.
It's a great reason to find things in the day to be happy about, because it could and it may and it shall get worse, you know. So,
yeah, true.
I'm gonna find a way to enjoy it. So
yeah. Well, shoot, man. I think at this point it's probably a good time to wrap up.
Yeah, dude.
But dude, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I appreciate it. And once again, if you guys want to check out the Teddy collection, drops tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, APTHCRY.com. 4 fire socks. I only have 3 of them here, but if you guys want to grab them, they're amazing.
You gotta get online to see, baby. You gotta be there for the drop.
You gotta be there for the drop.
11 a.m. Eastern Time, right?
Yes, sir. Dude, you're probably one of my favorite people that I've ever met through YouTube, and it's just because you're, like I said earlier, like you really are like one of the most original and one of the most real out there. There's a lot of people. I'm not saying that my other friends from YouTube aren't real, but like you're overtly like very out there. That you're someone who sets trends rather than follows trends, and I've always respected that. And so it's been a real pleasure to get to know you and see how you sort of progress and the things that you do. So it's been great, man. I'm really stoked on this. It's good to talk to you again too, for sure.
Thanks, Dar. I appreciate the nice words, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on your platform. You know,
of course, man.
You met me, and I have more followers than you, and now you have fucking blown past. Like, it's fucking sick. I don't get it. My ego's not involved. I think it's sick because
I appreciate it.
I never understood getting followers. Like, why are these people following me? I just keep talking crazy, you know? So I think it's sick to see, dude. So, yeah, and I think it's cool that we're fucking so polar opposite and that we get along so well.
Definitely, man.
Most people don't realize what drives me crazy is like, just because I say something like about how the elephant print on these new Jordans looks like shit, because you know it does, doesn't mean we can't be friends. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I didn't know that you said that. I wouldn't have been friends with you if I'd known that you were gonna say that.
If you showed up to a party at my house with Jordans on, I'd be like, but we still smoke some weed together. You know, it's like, okay. People just gotta You gotta have this bullying come back. It's so healthy for each other, you know, this friendly bullying. Yeah.
It's funny that you say the thing about the Jordans, because I realized, so we had a photographer take photos for the socks, and I should have briefed him. I should have told him, but I didn't tell them that he shouldn't be using Nikes and Jordans.
Oh, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. No, it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever. I like the homage though. I like the first few pairs are like some of my favorite pairs ever.
True.
So I was like, oh, this works. It's like, no, it's cool. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever. The brands are just used to sell the socks, right? So it's the same thing, you know. But
Yeah, man.
whatever. Cool, man. Well, yeah, let's do it again sometime.
It's been a pleasure, man. I really appreciate it, dude. Good talking to you.
All right, brother.
Thank you so much, man.
Peace
And
out.
thank you to everyone in the chat. If you guys want to see the full video, I'm going to put it on the Apothecary YouTube channel, which is linked in the description below. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.